Well, Wolf, just 2 months ago, President Obama was slammed for saying he didn't have a strategy yet for Syria. Now the president seeking to review a plan for Syria, including the eventual removal of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. The president and his advisors coming to the realization you are not going to defeat ISIS without a plan to get rid of Assad, who the U.S. and many of the allies see as the reason ISIS has been able to gain strength in the country. It's really an admission the initial strategy to confront ISIS in Iraq first and then take on Syria was a major miscalculation. In just the past week, the National Security Team has met 4 times, including one meeting chaired by the President, Wolf, to discuss how the Syria strategy will fit into the overall strategy of combating ISIS.
So how are the allies, the coalition partners, if you will, reacting to this new emerging strategy?
Well, Wolf, you know many of the president's advisors, Secretary Kerry, Defense Secretary Hagel, recently we understand, have been calling for a more robust strategy in Syria. And when Secretary Kerry and General John Allen, who's the envoy to the global coalition, travel across the globe, they're talking with the allies. Some are saying, listen, the strategy to defeat ISIS only works if there's a more coherent plan for Syria's future. Secretary Kerry intensifying talks with allies. Arab diplomats tell CNN Kerry, Allen, and others have been pushing for a political roadmap, ultimately transitioning Assad from power. The U.S. went after ISIS in Iraq, first hoping that it would give the U.S. time to vet, train, and arm a moderate rebel force who would then go after ISIS, eventually Assad's regime. But officials now realize they don't have the time to go after Iraq first because the administration is battling, the opposition is battling 2 fronts, the regime and ISIS, and could be obliterated by the time the U.S. pivots from Syria to Iraq. So talk about expanding and accelerating the train and equip program with allies. Wolf, the vetting of those rebels hasn't even started yet. It's going to be very difficult. And you also don't have a viable plan for an opposition, a political opposition in Syria. But we understand that Secretary Kerry, key Arab allies, Turkey, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, even Russia involved. And Secretary Kerry has mentioned this on the margins of nuclear talks to Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif. So they're really hoping everybody can at least agree on a political transition. It's going to take a lot of time. And eventually they do want to see President Assad out, but maybe maintain a lot of the regime and the institutions of the state.
The Iranians certainly don't want to see President Bashar al-Assad out. They're close allies.
Indication they're doing anything.
So if they could have talks on the margins, as they say, that's probably not going to go very far with the Iranians.